Hi everybody, this is Christy. I am the Intimate Warrior. I thank you so much for stopping by, and as always, I send you love. Alright, let's see. In my last video, I hope you all are doing well, by the way, and please know that no matter if I do make videos on YouTube or schedule a regular YouTube post or not, you all are always in my thoughts, in my prayers, and I always am sending love continuously. I am giving and providing healing light continuously. You know, the reason why I am not here continuously like I have been in my past is I have grown to the point of truly being guided by Spirit. And I know that especially when I am going through my own personal transition and in the process of becoming, time is necessary. When we are upgrading, now time, when we are thinking about this, isn't the time on the clock. Time signifies what our body is doing on the inside. Time is blood. Blood at every single moment of the day has the ability to be upgraded. I am very thankful today, which means that I am feeling some gratefulness emotions come up. So if I do, I'm not even sure you can hear the change in my voice when I do become a little emotional in gratefulness. And so at this moment, my eyes are tearing up, of course, because of my own personal gratefulness and where I am in my journey. I have expressed that there is so much to our journey, and we're not there until we are there. And it is so humbling of us when we can just say, I am not there. Unless you truly know everything, you are not there. I have attained much knowledge about myself, but do I know it all? No. And even if I get to the point of complete knowingness, complete togetherness, am I really going to talk about it? Am I really going to say that I am anything? I don't think so. I don't think so. Because this journey, it's so beautiful, and that word beautiful is not a big enough word. It's so special, and it's so unique to each and every person's lives. And depending on how grateful you are is how humbling you're going to become. A true individual who has great appreciation for their journey is, of course, someone who has walked the walk of faith and walked the walk of love. It means that you have endured this path and you have successfully risen from the path. You have learned. You have taken a road that has been less traveled. You have beaten the odds and have overcome many, many things. And you have done this under a veil that other people have no understanding about. So I want to go back to, let's see, I spoke about how the full moon in Aries is opening us up into the ventricles of the brain. And the choroid plexus within the ventricles. That is a major producer of CSF. Then I spoke about the optic thalamus. In both of those videos, I believe I spoke about the X marks the spot. Also with the alpha and the omega, with the X nerve, which is the 10th nerve, which is the vagus nerve. Excuse me. We have X signifies a marking point. Where the X unites, it is also known as a yod, which is God's hand, the finger of God. This is a connection point, major connection points, where, with your complete surrender, flow can take place. Now, I want to kind of explain more of why my vocal cords are being upgraded right now, or why I have lost my voice. And when the CSF finally is attempting to burst open, a secret doorway has to be open. The doorway is actually at the coccyx, the end of your tailbone. That's the door. The beginning of the door is right there. So a couple of weeks, or I don't know when it was, I saw this door kind of pulsating with this white light emerging out and around the door. It reminded me of lots of scary movies where, I can't even think of anything right now, where the door is, trying to move in and out in a wave type of a fashion, and lots of light is emerging out. So that's what I ended up seeing. And I knew that the doorway was about to open, or trying to open. I always stay humble, and I know that what I am witnessing in my vision is somewhere that I have to go to. I try to make sure that I don't get ahead of myself and say, oh, this is where I am at. This is where I can go with my complete surrender. So the tailbone actually becomes the Holy Mother. This is the mother principle, and which is also known as the earth. The CFS has to, or the Sushumna, is going to have to open this doorway. Now, this is the point of, again, it's all about love. The doorway is going to begin the process of opening, but when the seed and all that good stuff is at the base of the neck and the skull, or the top of the skull and the base of the skull, and at the tip of the spine there at the neck, that is where the crucifixion, which is where the oil begins to increase in power by 1,000, which is a number that I expressed in my other video the other day. This is where a buildup of fluid increases. And remember that this is the back of the skull where the medulla oblongata is. It is also where the alta major and or the mouth of God, whichever one you call it, is located. And it reflects light into the throat. This is, of course, about the thalamus complex that unites and connects like a figure 8 of flow from the crown into the throat, into your thymus, creating this flow. This doesn't open, of course, until the thymus gland has been completely open and has turned red. It is the ruby ray. And the reason why my voice has gone is because of the build up. The purpose of CSF is to purify. Purify at a higher level. And so I kind of wanted to explain that. The doorway will be open at the base of the skull, but the fluid kind of can get stuck at the neck, your vocal cords, and this can make you feel deeper sense of purification. And when the CSF is flowing, the cerebral fluid, the spine fluid, all that stuff is trying to purify you. It is going through your sinuses. It's going through every canal of your brain. It is cleansing out your blood system to remove toxins. The body it has been made to help you self-heal yourself. And in order to do so, if you have a toxin from within, embedded within your body, it has to push itself out. And how does it come out? Sinuses, coughing, sneezing, your digestion. So you could have diarrhea, whatever it is, urination. It has to be removed in some way, shape, or form. Throwing up. This can take on the illusion of what? Illness, of being sick. Now, something I also wanted to kind of talk about, and because of COVID, there's lots of symptoms that are associated with COVID. And one of the major issues of it is the pain, the physical pain that you experience. So this is what I have heard from other people, and one major symptom is severe neck pain. The neck. The neck, because of the buildup, because of the CSF the spirit molecule is trying to really purify at a higher level. The neck becomes a very sensitive area. Now, the Alta Major is a very sensitive area to begin with. If you deal with lots of neck pain, of course, stress is the number one thing. If you are dealing with stress, it is because you have lots of buildup or negativity in your life. You have not reached a state of balance, of flow. You are not in harmony. Therefore, it is because you're not in resonance of love. And let's see, I lost my train of thought here. And when the nerves of the brain have finally all been activated or are trying to truly activate, keep in mind it's the vagus nerve. You have the arteries in the vein that are alongside the vagus nerve that become very tender. You have your lymph nodes, you have your adrenal glands. There is so much that can be affected and will be affected when the spirit molecule is cleansing. No matter where you are in your journey, the only thing that is different is that it's healing at either the beginning stages or towards the end stages. And remember, there is never an end to the living waters. We have to always maintain the living waters. If we ever become more negative, self-absorbed, ego-based, whatever, we have to start this cycle all over again. Love is the only thing that keeps the living waters flowing. So the spine is what is mentioned in the Bible as the candle, okay? And I'm going to kind of explain that, hopefully. So you have the spine. That's the wax of the candle. And you also have layers upon layers. And I've talked about the meninges, or the dura mater, the arachnoid matter, and the pia mater. These are three major areas or layers that the CSF must break through. And these are in your brain, and you have it within your spinal cord as well. And so your brain has to have that complete balance of it, and it has to get through all three of those layers, and then your spine has to do the same thing and has to get through all of the layers. Now, once the CSF, you want especially the CSF to finally make it into the subarachnoid space, because from there it gets to the central canal. The central canal acts like the wick of the candle. So when the flame of the Holy Spirit is able to rise up through the central canal, it's now the flame is going to be visible through the brain, where the pineal and pituitary are now able to see this great light. The CSF is also known as Ein Sof. The the central canal of the spine, where it is the wig now, is known as Ein. That's where we have to get. We have those three higher levels of Ein Sof, of Ein Sof, and Ein Sof Or. Ein Sof Or is the outer layer. Ein Sof is the second layer, and the Ein is the little dot on the center, and that's where we're trying to get to. We're trying to allow light to penetrate into the core of everything, which becomes again the central canal of the spine, and that is again known as the wick of the candle. So like I said, that the cerebral spinal fluid is the light of the Ein Sof, and the cerebral spinal fluid, like I had mentioned in the other video, is produced within the fourth ventricle of the brain. 90% of this flows out into the subarachnoid space, which is just prior to it entering into the central canal of the wick. And then the remaining 10% is what flows into the central canal. 10%. This is what God says that you must give your tithing, your tithes. This is also why 10% equals 3 days of the sacred secretion. 2.5. I always put 3 days, but I always have it, or in the past, blocked off 2 weeks when I was learning to practice this time frame, just because the calendar system has been changed and shifted, and because when we are actually out of balance, our hormones are out of balance, which means that the actual seed may or may not fall when it's supposed to, when your hormones are out of balance. So that's why I would start 3 days prior to the actual moon in sign and continue on for another 7 days. But I ended up making it a daily practice to practice the sacred secretion, which means staying in alignment with love no matter what, 24/7, 365. And that is why I am here today. I don't change my routine. The only thing that I am aware of is the time on the calendar of when my moon is in my sign. And that's it. And so the remaining, like I said, the remaining 10% flows into the central canal of the spinal cord, which is the stem, which is actually known as the breath of light, which is also Hey in the Hebrew alphabet, where at the base of the spinal cord, the conus medullaris, the CSF of the central canal, exits out of a hole and goes back into the subarachnoid meninge of the spinal cord, flowing back up into the brain, where it is now reabsorbed via the cranial venous sinuses back into the bloodstream. Now, the light of the Ein Sof, which is, of course, the CSF, surrounds and protects the brain, and it maintains the overall balance of the ecosystem within you and eliminates toxins, where its waste goes into the blood and the brain, which is also considered to be time of knowing, exists within the body of space. So this is why you can experience what seems like symptoms, or how humans like to call it, being sick. We are being upgraded. We are healing ourselves at a higher level, and therefore becoming. And this becoming is so lengthy, and the only thing that allows the becoming to be is our complete surrender. Surrendering. surrendering our thoughts over, surrendering our emotions over, and settling into love. God says that He will give you a new mind and a new heart, because the ability of what light can do through the CSF is amazing. You're no longer in this is what has actually been going on for myself and others right now, is that your eyes are blurry, so your vision has been obstructed. Your senses, like you can't smell really, you can't taste, you have no taste for anything right now. You don't feel like eating anything because nothing tastes good, and you can probably barely hear at the same time. And depending on your situation, where you are, you probably are unable to speak very clear. And when any of these senses, your smell, sight, taste, and hearing are obstructed, your sense of touch can also become obstructed, because all of them work simultaneously. You become kind of numb. It is changing of the mind, truly changing of the brain. When the brain changes, it means that your DNA is changing. When your DNA is changing, your blood is upgrading. When the blood is new, the heart is new. And of course, your physical heart has a second heart, which is the thymus gland. And we all know that is highly significant through our ascension process. So I hope this video helps, and I hope to make a video hopefully tomorrow. I'm not sure how my schedule is going to work. There's lots going on. And I finally have information as to why I have this orb in my eye, and so I would love to be able to share that with you all. And I really look forward to, I hope one day I can hear from somebody else's perspective that they have this experience as well. I haven't had that opportunity yet throughout my process, and I'm hoping to come in contact with someone somewhere out there who also has this orb within their eye. So that's my video for today, and I hope to talk to you guys soon. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.